Fires have shown massive growth in Saskatchewan the last couple of days, some in Manitoba as well. Conditions are down temporarily in Manitoba. We can talk about why. Ronge has lost some buildings, some structures. We got nothing good. There it is. This is bad news.
My God. Falling out right now.
Anything could happen.
Get on! Wow.
I'll watch the video later. They try mopping this. Welcome to Caribou Weather Dude YouTube channel. Hit like, share, subscribe. Consider leaving leaving me a thanks down there if you want to as well. That would be really swell. Keeping me alive, you are, until work comes for me. Okay. Also, so Ronge, yeah, some devastating losses in the community yesterday. I didn't want to talk about it during the broadcast I made earlier yesterday because all I had was firms maps. I didn't know for sure what was actually going on there. But it sure looked like buildings were in the line of the fire, and that's what happened. Let's have a look at this. Iconic Robertson Trading Post lost to Ronge fire. There was properties lost. I don't have any details on what's happened in the town, how much the town's been affected by fire, but we know at least some buildings have burned down. When we looked at firms yesterday, it seemed pretty clear that the fire had crossed into some residential areas, into some buildings, right? And this is what we don't want to see ever. So hopefully this loss can be kept to a minimum in the days ahead for the Ronge, and they can continue to have some success in the future. But heartbreaking moments.
Holy smokes!
Holy smokes! Yeah.
Fireman, really brave.
Yeah, what do you do? That's before and after Robertson Trading Post. Oh wow, look at the stuff inside. That's sad. Oh no. It's 3:45 p.m. Pacific Standard Time at the time of recording, so the afternoon heat is starting to subside now in Manitoba at least. And there really was not much for afternoon heat unless you were down in the very far south where it did hit about 20. But as you can see, the low that caused all the wind events this week that whipped up all the fires, it's now firmly out in the middle of the Hudson Bay, and it's chewing in all this cool air and cloud cover and whatnot, which has kept Churchill at 2 degrees. Joe Stover told me that it snowed there this morning. Look at that, 8 reporting at Gillum, 6 up at Tadouli, Thompson at 9 degrees. So that's not great weather for fire behavior. Well, it's great weather if you don't want fire behavior, at least. That's true, because when it's cool like that and it's humid like it probably is underneath that cloud, what's the fire going to do? It's likely to just creep around. We can see the fire in Ronge is kicking up a lot of smoke that's going on down south. Those fires are actively burning, aggressively burning. A bunch of fires in Sask are, although on the whole, fire activity is somewhat down in Western Canada. We do have a critical wildfire alert on the Alberta side for Lac La Biche County. Not good news for them. We're seeing 18s, 17s, mostly in the upper teens and, bottoming out in the low 20s across Western Canada, except for BC where it's a little warmer in some of our spots. Man, oh man, forecasts are being so fickle. It's like every time I look, something new is changing. So we're going to come back to forecast here in a minute. But we're seeing a lot of hot spots showing activity on these fires, on the Shoe Camp fire, the huge fire. Looks like the edge from this guy, the ditch fire here, is like 5 kilometers maybe, give or take, from joining these fires into one big mega fire. I don't have great news for Ronge. I really don't. We have activity seen pretty hot just outside town, just outside some of these neighborhoods right here. Not good. Downtown Ronge getting surrounded. We've seen some of these neighborhoods here burn through a little bit. Definitely, look at the fire activity there. It's not good. There's a big organized front, it seems like here. Some rank activity moving on, right? Looks like the fire is filling in the gaps from everywhere that didn't burn when it took its run. Is what's going on there. This guy showing a lot of activity, getting warmer. And this one here, quite maybe 20 kilometers from this pine house, something like that, or more, maybe 30. I don't know. I could find out, but I don't want to take the time. That's out there, staying warm. Decrease in activity on these fires that are affected more by the low up there. So we're seeing Flin Flon effectively surrounded, and we see some hot spots in there and whatnot. So maybe no aggressive organized flame front on these fires today, thankfully. But Flin Flon is in a precarious position, having hot spots all over the place around them. So, with any luck, some of that fuel that burnt off will limit what fire can do on Flin Flon, but, they're in a precarious position. So hopefully they can hold out. This downturn in the weather is good for them. The models keep changing. And it looks more and more like it's possible a bit of rain comes in this weekend. It's possible to Saskatchewan. We'll look at why in a minute. But as you can see, the down weather has these fires acting pretty quiet. Red fire's pretty quiet. They're at Favorable Lake. Our Split Lake fire, pretty quiet today. Pretty quiet. Not a whole lot of activity here at Cross Lake, at Genpeg. So things are pretty quiet. Even up at Lynn Lake, there hasn't been much activity for a number of days. So that's been nice to see. It's been nice to see for them. But still, we do find ourselves in precarious position here. Puckatawagan had a little bit of a run on its fires, but not too much activity. But the heat and wind could wake that back up as things trend a little warmer towards the weekend for you guys. So some good news, I guess, if we could see some of that rain that's possibly coming. So the Pelican Narrows fire here took a run and joined in with the Wolf Fire. And the Wolf Fire now has effectively joined in with the original Flin Flon fire. So pretty crazy stuff is going on. Mega fires. That's pretty much joined up with the Kississing Lake fire. Mega fires have happened. Look at the size of some of these runs they took over the last couple days. Mega fires. Suddenly the Shoe Campfire isn't necessarily the biggest potential complex going on. Suddenly we're seeing that the Pelican Wolf and the WE024 and 017 suddenly, and then it's joining up there with Puckatawagan soon. So we're seeing mega fires. That's what we're seeing. I'm going to be talking about that, I think, in another video soon. Some activity in Alberta today. Yeah, some activity. There's, like I said, a critical wildfire alert for at least one community, Lac La Biche. We can see a couple of those fires in Alberta pretty hot. We're seeing an increase in activity in BC at some of our fires up north of Fort Nelson. Seeing an increase of activity at some of the other fires, seeing an increase of activity at the Kiskatnaw River fire, increases in the Rockies, so, concerning signs, and increases even on the Northwest Territories side of the border. We can see our fires in Saskatchewan border there, Wolf Fire yesterday burning real hot. Can see some of the winds that are coming down, driving that fire activity. See that there was fire activity through the night, most likely at our Ronge fire. Not a lot of smoke, but until today, you're seeing that kick off again late this afternoon on Ronge. But some active burning, but conditions in some way are still reduced a little bit by the cloud cover and the cooler temps in a lot of this quadrant where our fires have been going on. Well, let's see if we can find some good news in the modeling. So there's a lot of uncertainty on where this next low is going to go through. We're going to see a low come across the north somehow. GFS shows it going on a northerly bent, and if that happens, our target fires receive very minimal rain. Maybe some more is coming to southern Manitoba over the next bunch of days into next week, Monday. And again, northern Saskatchewan taking a lot of the rain, and same with all the way up into the territories there. So on GFS, very little precipitation on our fires. If we look at ECMWF, boom, a lot of precipitation on the fires. And this is why I don't know how much time I should spend talking about this, because it may be a long shot hope how this is all going to play out. Well, how does it play out, Joey? On ECMWF, we see the low come through. That's been kind of targeting up into Valdez. The other day we're looking at it, and then it's targeting up and moving into Northwest Territories. And where's that low going to go over this time? we'll watch what it does. It brings winds down to our target area. It draws warm air up in front of it. So that's not good. In this model, the low is going to take a bit of a dive south. Takes a dive south there, and then even brings a line of thunderstorms across southern portions of Manitoba, Ontario, maybe heavy rain through other parts of it. The backside of it bringing heavy wind and rain as well. So is that what's going to happen between now and Sunday and Monday morning? Or GFS has our low here coming out in a board, coming into the Northwest Territories. Thursday, there it is. Friday, now we see it. Taking a pass over, bringing winds ahead of the front into Saturday, sticking more up into the territories, closer to where the last one went. Still bringing a line of rain through southern Manitoba, but more or less missing our target area with any of that precip. So here's the battle of what's going to happen. Now, I'm usually inclined to side with ECMWF. Icon shows it there into the far north, bringing rain to the north, and then doing what ECMWF sort of says, dumping a bunch on the way down. But there's going to be, so we're really playing here. We don't know what's going to exactly happen, but I have a feeling that big winds are going to happen either way. Either which way, that target area is going to be hit by a lot of winds. So it's really up in the air right now. We could be really looking at some good news. And I think, we're a couple days out there. I think by this time tomorrow, when we start looking at it, we'll have a better, more cohesive idea. But there's been a lot of change in the modeling this past 24 hours. I've been trying to keep up with it because if you look long-term out, what we've been seeing are very completely different things from what we were looking at 2 days ago, if we're looking at the same dates, say, for next week. And we're watching our smoke forecast. Still, we're looking at increased activity in the days ahead, no matter what. It's going to be warmer and warmer for a couple days. No matter where that low goes through, it's going to draw warm air up from the south, and you're still in an area that's been sitting in low humidity. So we're going to see active fire conditions, active fire weather still for areas around the Ronge over the next couple days. It's not good. It's very concerning. It's very concerning what's going on here. If they could take that 25 mils that ECMWF seems to think is coming, man, that would be very helpful for knocking things down for a little while, at least buying a bit of time. But wow, yeah, I mean, some of these fires are absolutely massive now. And if we see any uptick in the heat for them, if we see any increase, like we're seeing increases in BC, expectations for heat now, we're going to see expectations bump up across the board in a couple days for other places too. So there's some uncertainty right now. Forecast severity rating seems to indicate that southern BC is going to continue to dry out, that northern Alberta is going to continue to get worse, that Saskatchewan is going to continue to be extreme for the most part, and parts of northern Manitoba. So that's their expectation for the month of June at least. So fire weather maps have BC interior trending drier and drier, northeast into the extreme, basically. Manitoba and Saskatchewan still bad, seeing a nice drop for the far north there. But that's where we're at right now. If we jump ahead a couple days, what are they going to say? What are they going to say here? What's their modeling saying? Their modeling doesn't seem to indicate that they think there's a lot of rain coming for those areas. So that's, take this all with a grain of salt, because I think everything's kind of changing right now. The modeling is, and we're going to see some changes. But look, there we're seeing something show up. Look at that. Boom. Seeing fire weather go straight down in the Manitoba side. So you're probably going to be, the beneficial one, I think, Manitoba. Seems like it. Seems like you're going to be the one who benefits the most from that, and then you're going to have time to rebound again. Saskatchewan still, according to them, looking to stay in the extreme in North BC, Northern Alberta, coming up and down between really bad and extremely bad. So hopefully we can get some better news on all that. I'm sure people in Manitoba pay attention to Justin's page there, Weather Center of Manitoba, and their channel here on YouTube, because he'll be all over top of these rain stories, I'm sure. So it looks like we got some positive news in kind of the long term for some of those fires in Manitoba, but Saskatchewan still, we're not sure. I think we're going to find out in the next 24 hours. Probably by the time I make another fire weather forecast tomorrow, you'll probably see me saying, something more definitive as to what we think could happen for Saskatchewan. We really could use that rain. So that's why this video is entitled "Rain Coming to Saskatchewan," because I don't think those models were very conclusive yet. Yeah, seeing a lot of change in the last 24 hours, but we're trying to keep up here on the channel. Hit like, share, subscribe, and thanks for thanks and becoming a channel member or joining me on Patreon. I really can't do this alone. I need a whole community to keep me up there so I can keep talking. Thanks, everybody. Bye for now.